This is a sparring session I had with Chatfield Thompson, a third-degree black belt from US Taido, at a Taido Seminar we did a few years ago for the Mississippi State Taido Club. In this sparring session, we are showcasing proper sparring etiquette for our students and demonstrating best practices when trying to develop new techniques for Jissen. In this round, Chatfield and I are focused on controlling the distance between one another when executing and dodging techniques. You will see that when we dodge a technique, we stay just outside our opponent's range in order to properly strike with a counterattack. Also, Chatfield does a good job of using his height and reach to create frames and prevent me from closing the distance when he's in a compromised position. As I talk through this round, focus on our footwork and how we are using small, decisive movements to gain advantages against our opponent. Even though there's a lot of movement in Taido, it really is a game of inches. So we're set up at the beginning of the match, both in Chirangamai. They're going to call Hajime and we're going to start moving around each other. So I'm going to start the first exchange with a tornado kick to close the distance and immediately transition into a suiegeri. Chaffel's going to duck underneath, throw a hangetsate. I'm going to jump to get a hiensuki, but Chaffel's going to do a great job of posting on my hip and creating a frame to stop me from coming in. Then I'm going to come in closer, but Chaffel's going to throw immediately into a short suiegeri with his left leg, and I'm going to barely dodge it. Already a great display of reach. Here I throw a senjugeri, come back, do a double check with a tobi senjugeri, and then I'm going to throw a cartwheel and immediately change directions into a senjugeri again. And Chatfield's going to do a great job. Inside keisageri without any steps. It's a very short keisageri to throw. Hit me directly on the hip. So next exchange, I throw a modified suihegeri. Chatfield comes in with a sweep. I come in, then we jam, and I immediately throw a senjugeri, and Chatfield dodges underneath. So we're still maintaining a very close distance from each other, just outside each other's range. Next I'm going to throw a sentai, but Chatfield's going to escape to my far side, up to the right hand corner. We're trying to cut each other off. I'm trying to stop him from exiting that corner. I throw a cartwheel, and Chatfield throws a hangetsate, but we end up jamming. Then I step out. He tries to use his frame again. That's why I push it to the side and punch his hip. So next I'm trying to really close the distance, so I'm going to do a sentai and a hienzuki with a punch, moving forward. This time I catch Chatfield's arm. So it doesn't really count for a point. Next I'm trying to grab Chatfield and mess around with him a little bit to try and do a nengi, but he sees it coming, so he stops me from doing that. So next Chatfield's going to come on the offensive. Suigeri feint, throw a senjugeri up towards my face. I barely dodge it. He attempts another suigeri and I quickly check him with a senjugeri and hit him here. So the senjugeri is a very powerful and versatile kick in Taido. You can do a lot of damage to your opponent by putting a lot of spin behind the technique. But since this is a sparring situation, here I'm just using it as a check-in kick against Chatfield. As he is attacking me, I'm throwing my kick to establish my range, and also stop his momentum, which gives me the opportunity to establish my own attacking sequence right after. So after I strike Chatfield, we set up again, do some Munsoku. I'm going to attempt a keisageri, but Chatfield's just going to get right out of the way. Then I'm going to close the distance with a cartwheel. Chatfield's going to try and keisageri, but it's going to be too close. I'm going to spin around that. Now, instead of doing a block for my sentai nosuke, I'm going to grab his hand to prevent him from punching me, and then I'm going to strike him with a punch here. Using your front hand as a block is very common in Taido, but you could also utilize it to post on your opponent or stop them from punching you back, as you saw there. Here I'm going to try another nengi attempt. You can really grab the front hand and attempt a nengi a lot in Taido. It's one of the most common entries, but Chatfield is a little bit too smart for that, and it's going to be really difficult to do since he's much bigger than I am, and here we're just messing around. So we're moving. I do a sentai kaijugeri, I miss. Chatfield cuts a great angle behind me. I do another sentai, but I end up tripping. I'm falling forward. Chatfield thinks he can come in closer, so I check him again with a senjugeri. Then I do another hook kick or suihegeri variation, kind of a senjugeri without a spin. I end up catching Chatfield. He goes for a keisageri, we end up jamming. That hook kick I do off that suihegeri is very useful to me. I do it for a lot of different reasons. I'll probably do a video on that later. Here I attempt what's called a back roll nengi. I back roll for Chatfield's leg, and I try and throw a nengi in between. It's more of a scissor kick, but once again, Chatfield is way too big for me to try and doing this, and I attack from way too far out. So I end up coming off him, and Chatfield hits me in the back. So this concludes the sparring footage. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is what it really looks like when two high-level competitors face each other. There's not a lot of very quick motion. It's a very flowing type style where we're really trying out new techniques and trying to flow with each other and maintain distance from each other. So I want to break down more of the sparring footage because I think a lot of great Taido comes out in sparring. So if you like this, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. Thank you.